Hi friends. So, I'm headed to the gym, but it's gonna look a little different than what it has been because you know how I've been saying my hand hurts, my right hand, and it's just been more annoying than anything else. Well, my wife and I went to the doctor yesterday for her 20-week checkup, and her OB and we have the same primary care, but they share a building, they share an office. And so while we were at her OB checkup, we actually saw our doc, and he asked me how my hand was doing, because I sent him a picture after I hit it while climbing, and he was like, okay, just give it some rest. It was super swollen. He's like, just rest it and see how it is, and we'll just check back in. So I did, but it's still been bothering me. So he's like, how's the hand? And I told him, oh, it's still aching a little bit. So he's like, okay, let's go get some x-rays. I broke it. I've been climbing for the past couple weeks with a broken hand. I climbed a V8 on kilter with a broken hand. So what it is my second metacarpal. The head of my second metacarpal's bone is like separated. So I'll actually do some editing on this and actually pull up the picture for you to see. But yeah, so what that means is I will be in this splint with my fingers like this for the next 2 to 3 weeks, just to completely give my hand give my hand a break. What he actually thinks is it's more of a ligament issue, because the radiologist said like the fracture, yeah, it's fractured, but it's actually like contained, and so it's actually probably not causing the pain anyways. What's probably causing the pain is just some like tendon stuff. So even still, like, this is what we're going to be doing. So my hand's going to be in this split for the next 2 to 3 weeks. I'm going on light duty at work because me being a nurse's assistant, I literally I use my hands and I have to wear gloves with everything I do, pretty much. Standard precautions. So I'm going on light duty, so this is what I'm working with. So what that means for the next 2 to 3 weeks is lower body's getting hit, abs are getting hit, and I'm working on my mobility and cardio. So the goal is I won't be able to test this besides just some like working theory, but get my VO2 max up through getting zone 2 cardio in every day, working massively on flexibility, hitting that every day, like really working it, and then just developing the strong base that I need. And so that's my plan. Since I cannot climb, since I cannot do really anything, I can do some upper body stuff, but not much. I can probably do some chest flies a little bit, but very limited. That is my plan. So, a little frustrating because I feel like my climbing strength was starting to come back and my technique and all that was starting to come back. But if it was already starting to come back, it'll come back again in a couple weeks. So we'll give this 2 to 3 weeks of rest. If it still hurts, if it still feels about the same, if it still feels about the same, I'm going to go to a hand specialist to see what else I can do. If it does feel better, the brace is gone and I can go back to what I'm doing. So that is where I am at. Who would have thought that rock climbing and punching a hold could break your hand? It was my own force too. So it's like literally myself to blame. Guess I'm strong enough to break my hand. So that is what climbing training is gonna look. So I'm still gonna call this winter climbing training because that's what I'm preparing for. but it's no longer gonna be limit, strength, and volume days. It's gonna be flexibility, and flexibility days. Just because I have to adjust with this, but that's okay. 'Tis the nature of sports and stuff like that, is you get little things here and there and you just have to rest. It's annoying, but it is what it is. But excited to work on something, really focus in on some things that I've been wanting to focus in on. Like I said, working on my VO2 max and my flexibility mostly, because I actually feel like that'll help me. I don't feel like, I know for a fact that it'll help me in my flexibility. So my goals with my flexibility is, so what it is my glute medius and minimus are incredibly weak. So the abduction of my hips and the internal rotation of my hips are terrible. So I'm going to be doing a lot of things to strengthen my abduction and then the internal rotation of my femurs. So lots of like laying leg lifts, like some interesting things I got from, surprise, surprise, Tom Morrison. We talk about him all the time. So I'll see how that plays out, doing those things. Big thing is just getting it moving, just constantly hitting it. I've kind of let that slip the past couple days. So yeah, my wife and I came to the gym yesterday. She lifted, I just kind of did I worked out a little bit, but it was pretty low intensity, honestly. I mostly just stretched and did some hip stuff, but it wasn't like, it was hard work, but it wasn't high intensity, if that makes sense. And so that's really what I'm going to be struggling with the next couple weeks, I feel like, is a lot of the mobility work is not, it doesn't get my heart pumping or anything like that. It's hard, but it's not like strenuous. And so that's why I think the focus on doing some more like cardio specific to keep my heart rate, to do some stuff to keep my heart rate elevated, will be good. Because climbing, if you don't know this and you have like a fitness tracker or something, look at your heart rate after you finish a climb. It is through the roof. It is like, or especially after you finish a hard boulder, it is through the roof because you are working hard. And so I'm not going to be having that. So I'm going to have to do some low intensity cardio to get that. So that's my plan. My wife and I came to the gym yesterday. Like I said, she squatted. She's 20 weeks pregnant. She did 3 sets of 8. Well, she did 1 set of 8 and 2 sets of 6. Her 1 set of 8, she did 185. She did a set of 6 at 180, not 185, jeez. At 85 pounds. She did a set of 6 at 85 pounds, then another set of 6 at 75 pounds. So she did that, and then she's in bent over rows and B stance RDLs. Then we had to leave because we just had to, we were busy and had to go. Yesterday was a very busy day for her, so she got to the gym late. And like I said, I just did some mobility type stuff. I plan on doing that again, some of that same stuff again today, so you'll see what I was doing with that. Other than that, I've been working on school, getting all that. It will be interesting having clinical tomorrow with my hand like this. I let my instructor know, so she's like, just do what you can, but it's probably not much I can do with one hand and like this. I might be able to give some like PO meds. But other than that, that's pretty much it, I'm thinking. Because my hand is a little incapacitated right now. So, just pulled up to the gym. get a good warm up in. Might sit on the bike for like 30 minutes, maybe 20, we'll see. And then I'll catch you back up from there. So, see ya.
How's it going?
Sort of small. That should be video for next week. Other than that, yeah, pretty chill. What else? My dad to come back and we got back to your place. Well, he took the old moped, it's not actually replaced that. He also just replaced the prime mop. Applications for a headset or either mode. Nope. Also don't let that.
I almost just knocked something off the table. What's up, editing Mark here. Editing Mark here. Super stoked about, well, honestly, not super stoked. Like, I was really enjoying climbing, so it's frustrating that I now have to be in this brace for the next 2 weeks. But, injuries happen. Things happen where you have to back off and you have to change what you're doing and stuff like that. So it's like, it's frustrating because I was enjoying climbing and I was enjoying like going hard with all that. But injuries happen, you have to back off. So I am stoked to actually get some intentional time to work on my hips. It's just kind of, and like my mobility and flexibility. So pretty happy about that. Reviewing the footage, obviously I didn't do a post workout talk in the car. So my theory of how I'm going to work on my legs is just to work from the bottom up. So I didn't do it in this one, but tibialis raises, but then, and also working on my calves because my calves are pretty weak as well. But it doesn't, that's one of those things where it's like, they matter, but not a whole bunch, but I know they're weak. So I'm like, okay, finally having some time to address them for a couple weeks. And then ATG split squats, really good for mobility. They're feeling looser. I don't know if that's translating on the video. I think this was the first time I've done them, or the second time I've done them. If you don't know, I'm a week. So today is a week ahead, or few days ahead of when I last filmed. So I post a week after I film. Just give me time and life and stuff like that. So, ATG split squats, then working my hip flexors with lifting the kettlebell with my feet. That was really hard. That was way harder than what I thought it would be. Obviously that's weak, so I need to work on it. And then the hip rotations, and then I think I threw in some horse squat after this. I didn't video it because it's so bad. I videoed it later, but like in another day, but it's so bad. But I feel like it's getting better, or I'm just getting more like my body's like, okay, I'm more comfortable with this. So yeah, like it's equal parts frustrating because I want to climb. I enjoy climbing. I love climbing. And I was starting to like feel back to somewhat my normal climbing self. But injuries happen, and you have to take time, and you have to rest. And it's just thing about like being like a lifelong athlete, or just someone who pursues fitness for their entire life, is things happen. You will have setbacks, you'll have hiccups, and you just have to go with the flow and go with them and learn how to train around them. And that way it's not you're stopping training, but you're learning how to train around the injury and the setback. So like, for example, like when I hurt my hip a couple weeks ago squatting, I'm like, okay, that kind of gave me a transition point to get out of my general physical preparedness block, which I did not video at all or anything like that. I have some lifts from it, but basically my goal with that was to get overall strong. But then I did that, and I was in the middle of the next 12-week cycle, and I ended up hurting my hip. Tweaked it on a squat, which I've known I've had some imbalances in my legs, but after that I was like, okay, I'm tired of dealing with that, so I'm gonna start focusing more on climbing and fixing my hips more. And now my hip doesn't hurt at all anymore, which is awesome. I'm still not going to start doing, so I might start working goblet squats more, some lighter goblet squats, so I can start squatting again, but not pushing weight like I was doing. I think my last thing I was doing was 4 sets of 3 at 240 or something like that, 240 pounds. So I'm not going to be pushing that type of weight anymore, at least for a little bit, till I get my mobility and my hips worked back out. So, but I will start working in goblet squats, because I do think that's a really good mobility exercise. Like, I need to squat. Squats are awesome, but I need to do it in a lighter load so I can work a full range of motion. But that's what happened with my hip, and frustrating, but I adapted by climbing and all that. And then with this, it's like, okay, like I can't really hold anything except for in these 2 fingers, so I might as well just hit my legs and my core, like just really work on my mobility and flexibility. And so you're just kind of like, when things come up, you have to learn how to change your programming and change your thoughts, so that way you can still do stuff. So like, I'm working on mobility, I'm working on flexibility, and then I'm also working more cardio. So I'm doing I'm rucking more. I do 30 minutes on the bike to begin with, making sure my heart rate is in that zone 2 cardio state. So for me, that's about 125 to 145 beats per minute on my heart. And sometimes, like, 145 feels good and I can still talk, but sometimes 125 is like, oh, I'm having a hard time talking while I'm doing this. So it's like you kind of just have to evaluate where you're at. So I'm working on that. So you just have to, when injuries come, you have to know, like, it's frustrating. Acknowledge that it's frustrating, and not acknowledge that, man, I want to be doing this, but I can't. I think that's really healthy. But then be like, but what can I do? What can I work on? There's so many areas of fitness, especially if you're going just for overall health. If you're not like specifically training to be a bodybuilder, or specifically training for a sport, if you're not specifically training for these things, but you're just doing it for health, which I'm kind of now in that zone. I'm just kind of working out for health. Now I love climbing. I want to be a better climber. And that's kind of like the way I'm funneling everything. But I just also like health and fitness and wellness. And so finding when injuries come, it's kind of like a time to reevaluate. I'm like, okay, what is another area of health and fitness I could work on? And so for me right now, that's low intensity cardio, increasing my VO2 max, getting my resting heart rate back down, because it was a little bit higher from my bulk. My body's getting used to my new weight I'm carrying. I'm about 12 to 15 pounds up, depending on the day. I'm now weighing about 194, 195, so I'm 1 or 2 pounds less than peak, but I think my body composition is changing from fluff to muscle, so I'm pretty happy with where I'm at, but my body, my actual system is getting used to my new weight. So that, and then just working out my imbalances in my legs. Like, I have really strong big muscles. Correction, I have really strong quads. My squat form was shove my knees out in front of me, and because I was wearing platform shoes, which you can kind of see like right there, shove my knees out in front of me and just lift through my quads. No glute activation, no nothing. So I have really strong quads. But now I'm like, okay, I need to work on my glutes. I need to work on my hips. I need to do that, and get a whole more holistic mobility, flexibility, strength, which I think will pay off in the long run. So all that to say, it is frustrating that this has happened, but it is also encouraging because I can actually it's forcing me to devote time to things I need to devote time to. And I'm enjoying myself while doing it. Now I know this time is not going to fix everything. It's only going to be 2 to 3 weeks of being in this, and I know I can't fix everything in 2 to 3 weeks, but I'm hoping I can get things strong enough where I can focus on them less, like don't have to work them every day, but maybe every other day, every 2 days type thing. So that's my thoughts. I'll see you guys later.